Hello, everybody. Roscopter here, and welcome back to Modding with Skyrim. Happy QuakeCon 2023, everybody. This is going to be kind of a quick introduction. It's the Quake Champions, Quake World Championship. And, yeah, that means, the next match is just starting. I just watched the upper bracket game, Barafa versus Kilson. And for Rafa versus Kilson. And now we're in the lower bracket games. Rafa made it. He beat Kilson, and right now it's going to be Maxter versus Wenger. Then the match after that will be Zeniku versus Kilson, and then it'll be Razy versus Rafa. And then more of the finals after that. So let's do it.
We really are down to the 6 best players. They were the 6th highly ranked ones during the regular season. They're top 6 in this season, or rather in the Quake World Championships as well. So yeah, it's going to be sad to see them go, but that is just how it works. And our first competitor is going to be Maestro Wenger. We just saw him drop against his teammate Razy without securing a single map, and I think that we can all agree that his performance was a little lacking, perhaps.
Yeah, his one fan in the audience over there is making a noise.
That's so mean, Dan.
I spoke to him just now to see how he's doing, and he's okay. He admits that it wasn't his best game. He basically got sucked into the water Razy, but we saw how good Razy is. So there's one of those moments you have to put it to the side and regroup, and he's done that. And you know, he's going up against somebody who's had an amazing tournament as well, but this is do or die. He wants the belt as much as anyone else.
He definitely seems hungry, right? And so I get it. That probably makes it even more frustrating to not put out your best performance, but we know what he's capable of, right? And his opponent, Maxter, and keep in mind, like, the top 6 seeds are who is still left in the tournament today. Maxter's been one of those players throughout the season. He's put up some great results. He's had definitely some storylines that have developed out here, including 40 Lions' favorite, right? Bringing the keel and bringing something a little bit different to the meta overall. Now, it's likely to come into play in some ways, but because this has been talked about so much, Wenger is probably waiting for that as well.
Yeah.
So I think Maxter probably very happy with where he's at right now. Anything past this particular match would be incredible, and obviously a win, being the one to potentially eliminate Wenger, that's massive.
Right. I mean, we've got our 4 usual suspects, right? You've got Razy, you've got Rafa, you've got Wenger, right? You've got the Kilson up there, the 4 usual ones. But then you've got these 2 others, Zeniku and Maxter, who are just at the very edge, at the very threshold of these absolute top tier of Quake players. And I think a lot of people are waiting, like, when is it finally going to be their real breakout performance? When are they going to secure top 2, make it in the grand finals, win a championship belt even? And who knows, maybe that'll be today.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
Be it, right? The threshold could be
Out of
broken.
everybody's performance this entire weekend, and this may be a little bit biased, but I'm just being honest, Rafa has looked the most impressive. Razy has looked really good too, especially this morning. But
to be honest, I was
Rafa is playing out of his mind. He's doing really good. The game seems to be feeling really good for him. Close my door. Actually, I'm going to get more water too.
This year is a little bit harder, but I am on my way to do that. My toughest match was Kilson. He beat me 2-0. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage to just take map 1, and map 2 he was just simply too strong. So far he was my toughest match. During the tournament, probably the victory that I'm the proudest right now would be against Toxic, because I wasn't playing good at all, and I managed to beat them on map 3 on Sun and Death. And yeah, it was so tough, and for how the situation was going and how I was playing, probably was the match that I celebrated the most, and probably I'm really proud that I actually made it. I'm looking forward to play, well, most likely I will play the loser in between Razy and Wenger, but hopefully I will be playing Wenger if I'm lucky, because I mean, I like to play against Wenger. It's always entertaining to play against him.
Are you saying it's easier, Maxter? Come on, get out of here.
Again, kind of on a revenge maybe, and try to just
okay.
fix my mistakes since we are on
So-
lane, just trying to take
Oh,
advantage.
and I suppose what I could do is I
all the
could.
players are on top 6, and I am not avoiding or trying to avoid anyone. I have beaten them in the past. All
There we
of
go.
them, actually, LAN or line, whatever. So I know that I can beat them all. It's going to be tough. Everyone is really good at this point, but I'm confident in myself, and that's why I'm not avoiding anyone. My mindset on the final day, I'll be doing good nonetheless. Beyond the fact that I'm now on lower brackets, I am still in the tournament, so I will do my best, and I'm still trying to go for the maximum goal, which is the belt. Just because I stump one time doesn't mean that I'm lost. So since I am still in the tournament, I will keep trying. Let's just keep it this way. I will win the tournament.
Gotta love the confidence. Always a very stoic individual. You know, we've called him the ice golem before. Watching is very perfectly still and just very dedicated and focused gameplay. Two interesting takeaways there. First off, I want to face Wenger. Called that one. Nice work, Maxter. But then I want to face Kilson again. He's got to beat Wenger in order to get to that point. That is a possibility, but Zeniku would like to say a few words about that as well. So just really interesting how that storyline played out from even yesterday to now today. I love his confidence. I love his attitude. It's something that I think has always existed in Maxter and has probably helped him, reach the level of success that he has so far. But also, right, he still wants that belt.
Yeah, and I think there's two interesting things there. I think one, it's nice to see him affirm his status into that top 6. I know there's still a lot of people that, essentially said it was a bit of a fluke last year, right? And he's come out to say, absolutely not. This is what I deserve to be. And to your point of the Iceman, I definitely think it's one of his best qualities you don't get to see until you're in this occasion. He's one of the few players that really doesn't get flustered. You see him like winking into the camera, give it a smile. He relishes in the occasion rather than getting overwhelmed by it. And that's why he does so well on the big stage.
On the other hand, Wenger, perhaps a little more susceptible to that. I've seen him the cam around a little bit, and he does not look that confident, right? You can tell that he's really trying to think this one through, trying to plan for everything. He wants to go into this with a clear strategy in mind, but if you look at him, he's looking dead serious, no winking, no smiling at the camera. That's not what he's going to be up to right now. So there's a very clear, stark contrast between these two players.
Online hero.
Wow. Well, certainly a big part of this matchup is going to be the picks and bans. So let's go ahead and drop those on everyone here, as it looks like, oh, I love that we're starting on Deep Embrace and then Keep. I'm not even looking at champions yet.
Why Slash?
Blood and then Ruins. Who wants to take us? Wow, this is
respect bans from Wenger.
Yeah.
Banning out Kill and the Scale Bearer.
Wow.
But yeah, no, starting off on Deep, we do start with some aggression. Wenger actually changing up the strategy there, opting not for the Ranger. And this is what happened in the best of 5. You do change your approach very, very slightly on the Anarchy. So we'll see how that one plays out. We obviously saw him play the Ranger before, and it was not that successful. Whereas Maxter actually goes back for the Slash, which we obviously saw strong stage put to incredible use before. Then Strogom Ranger comes out on the second map, as one would expect them early on in the draft. And we move into slightly less meta picks now. Doom coming onto work, and we know how
that's pretty meta.
Champion is there. The Death Knight, a little bit earlier actually, and it's probably the best map of the rest in the pool to pick it on, which is a really interesting maneuver by Maxter, right? Often we wouldn't see Doom to the late stages, but it wouldn't be very good on something like Ruins. So that's really, really cool. And then Blood Covenant, we got Wenger picking up the clutch.
Have you ever seen Wenger in an official game?
Yeah.
I think once early in the season, maybe. I remember maybe commentating on like a QUAKECON on a clutch, and it was completely random, but no, that's how rare.
He doesn't do it often, but I've seen him do it.
Kind of taken after Razy, his teammate, getting that extra, advantage in his pickup, right, in his arsenal of champions. So yeah, it can definitely work.
It's a shiny, let's put it that, collect it. And then, Galena versus the BJ, which are pretty good champions.
Happening.
And then, Galena versus the BJ, which are pretty good champions.
Come on.
And then, yeah, Galena versus the BJ, which are real pretty good champions.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Yeah,
Collect it. And then, yeah, Galena versus...
What the hell? It's the exact same spot in the stream on both YouTube and Twitch.
And then, yeah, Galena versus the BJ, which are real pretty good champions. And then, yeah, Galena versus the BJ, which are real pretty good champions.
What the fuck is happening? Oh, it crashed. Oh, the entire stream crashed. LOL. That's pretty funny. I was like, what the fuck? This is okay, whatever. I can't believe it. The entire thing just crashed. No, not that. I need that one. Yeah, this nav mesh isn't going to take very long at all. Oh, they're back. They're back. Wait, are they back? Should be back. Are they back?
of the league, but
okay, they're back.
Beaten every last one of them, whether on LAN, whether online. I have done it before, and I'm hoping to do it again. And clearly, when it comes to Wenger, he has repeatedly.
Wow. Should have let Dan guess again. I like to see it. Dan, you've got a good track record this QuakeCon, Dan. You've called quite a bit, so good on you.
I'll close my notes next time.
yeah. I don't know. We don't know. He's always the first one up here. He could be looking through your notebook. Who knows? We are going to get started here in just a moment with this lower bracket. Don't forget, we've got another one coming up after this. And that will be Hircine versus Xanaku, which, again, another amazing match. And then we're going to pop back up to the upper bracket and see Razy versus Rafa, which... hope you like tasty treats. Should be amazing. Here's where we're at right now. We've seen a lot of players go home. We had started with 6 today. Hircine versus Xanaku, and then Wenger versus Maxter, which is on stage right now. To just think that you're going to roll into another brutal mini boss right after this one is rough. And at this point, you can't really be thinking about the what ifs and what might happen. You've just got to look at the massive Goliath in front of you and figure out how you're going to take him down with a sling.
Pretty much, yeah. There's no other way to summarize it. And then you've got to concentrate on how much stamina you have to take off the next Goliath that's going to fall into your path. Right. They just keep cascading down from the upper bracket.
Yeah, I mean, but each one has said very consistently, like, this is the point where you can't really be thinking about, oh, I hope I play this or not this person or avoid this person. True. Because it's anything, the cards could just play out however, and you've got to be able to deal with it. And frankly, I think that's championship quality.
Yeah, I mean, and that's also especially true when you're down to the lower bracket, right? Yeah. Like, you know, Razy was talking about it with us earlier. I think you asked the question, Weed, and he was like, yeah, you know, I've been down in the lower bracket very, very often, and it would be great to continue through the uppers, because otherwise, just look at what you have to get through. Look at how many matches, how many top players you need to beat. So best of 5 as well, right? This isn't your granny's best of 3. This is
right, exactly. Yeah,
this is big show.
And Razy brought up the other point too. You get the pick ban advantage, you get the map advantage, and he's been on the other side of that one too many times. So I get it why that might be as important as that belt there, because I think it just increases your chances of putting that belt around your waist.
Yeah, I think he's still got PTSD from one of the first finals. He had to have Death Knight when Death Knight was basically a useless Pokemon.
It was so close as well. It went to the final map. It was the Deep Embrace, best of 7. He was so close, and then he's stuck with Death Knight, who at that point was more or less useless in the meta. So Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen today to either one of these competitors.
Well, two incredibly focused competitors here on the final day.
Yeah, but honestly,
and I see that map loading. My palms are getting a little sweaty. I'm getting all excited, Dan. This is good. But it's also incredible to think that one of these players is going to go home. For Maxter, what an epic victory this would be, but what a devastating loss it would be for Wenger. Not even going to try to call it. Let's just see how the games play out, and we'll see you on the other side, Dan. Bye. Peace.
There we go. Now it's just the two of us. Wheat, as warm-up is about to draw to a close. We've got Maxter, we've got Wenger. This is a lower bracket match. So
I think Wenger can pull away with it.
Today, whereas the winner will be advancing, and crowd, the audience is making some noise as we're starting it off on the perspective of Maxter.
Yeah,
I don't know why I think I would need that small, tiny little bit of space.
Probably one of my favorite maps in the pool, just because it tends to be a little bonkers, a little bit of chaos. It does force players to kind of figure out how they're going to deal with certain situations, and there's not a whole lot of places to hide. So it kind of forces 10 minutes of some type of action, and I expect action is exactly what we're going to be able to get, as Maxter already trying to deal with the pressure that Wenger's putting on from that heavy. And we saw such a remarkable game between Wenger and Strong Sage yesterday on this one, just as a really great example of what can happen. And there's the first frag going to Wenger. And already, Flea, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but already, like, Wenger looks incredibly focused.
He does. He absolutely does. So far, his game has been on point. Look at that 80% railgun damage. That is huge when it comes in terms of accuracy, rather. And Maxter is really struggling to get footing of the map. Loving the patience from Wenger as well. He knows that he can dodge almost all of those plasma bolts from the distance, hold on. And that all he needs to do is land one shot to significantly outdamage Maxter. Oh my goodness. Still 75% railgun accuracy. Wenger is absolutely not giving his opponent any room to breathe. And here we go. He's going to pounce on him again. Plasma trail is going to do some damage. Won't be enough, though. Wenger's got to be careful, though. Yeah. He's a little tender right now. Might not be the smartest choice to just set up over on the heavy.
That's, you know, also one of the reasons I really like Deep Embrace, because things can turn around in a matter of moments, and there's one great example of that, right? It's very rare that you're going to be able to convert a frag and just, you know, have a full stack and be super clean. So you've always got to be thinking about where your opponent may have spawned, what they might come at you with, will they be aggressive, what are you going to do to try to get back up if you don't get that clean frag, and that's just kind of a natural evolution of a Deep Embrace game. But Maxter sending back some rails, return to sender there to Wenger, and 2 minutes in, already a lot of action. The LG coming out, and a big rocket. I don't think Wenger was really expecting that one, but Maxter's keeping that pressure on quite well.
I mean, on paper, in theory, the play was solid, right? Allow Maxter to just let the speed drive him, jump far into the room, and you just stop him face first with that LG. But nope, Maxter got so close that he was able to switch to the rockets and finish it off quickly, and ultimately relatively clean. He didn't take all that much damage. Now, Mega and Heavy, both up at the same time. Slight delay between the items. Before this previous fight, Wheat, there was pretty much 15 seconds separating them, so there was a perfect division between the items, but now they're much closer to being in sync, so that's going to make it difficult for full control to be established.
Maxter was like, oh, hey, Wenger, you got a 75% rail? Watch, I can do this too. He's got a 75% rail. In fact, both players just above. Now they dropped down to 60, but that's okay. Incredible start to this matchup as both players hitting all of their shots. You know, sometimes we've seen it on the other side where a player's hitting all their shots and the other player's like, how are you hitting all their shots? But when both players are just nailing every single pinpoint pixel rail that they possibly can, it definitely makes for an interesting game. Maxter doing a great job of keeping that pressure on. You know, it looked early like Wenger was going to be able to have a level of control, and I would say that both players really battling it out here. Once again, caught up in the upper level. Ooh, the inject comes out, but immediately deleted, and then possibly a conversion frag. Ooh, that was good damage coming out from Wenger, but more importantly, Maxter did get that conversion frag.
As solid as Wenger's opening to the map was, as good is Maxter's clapback right now. He's one frag in the lead, and he's going into this clearly with a very determined game plan, right? Close the gap, get up close and personal, rockets, shoddy,
Yeah.
LG if need be. That's how he wants to play the game. But even outside of that range, like you mentioned, Wheat, his railgun accuracy has been sublime. So Maxter right now really seems to be the complete package.
It is interesting how that kind of close range get in your face. I wouldn't say it completely negates the inject, but it does make it, like we just saw it right there, you know, rocket, inject, shotgun to finish it off. I kind of like the approach that Maxter is taking on this with sort of that aggression, and you know, not something that Wenger's definitely dealt with this before, but you know, interesting. I wouldn't say like this is typical play that we'd see from Maxter, but he has that game plan here. It's working.
Absolutely, he's got to be careful though. Tribolt versus Tribolt. Maxter's reigns supreme at, I think, a single point of health.
Yeah.
Wenger, he smells the blood in the water. He knows that his opponent is weak, and while he might not have the same level of explosive speed as Slash does, he's still plenty fast and mobile on Anarchy. Nice.
Great shot.
Jump shots.
But again, it's really showing on Deep Embrace how rare it is to walk away from a frag and not be, you know, screaming, as we saw it both in Maxter's case and Wenger's case. More importantly, though, we're tied back up 5-5, and we're halfway through this map #1. And, you know, we do talk here at Quake a lot about momentum and how important that can be, especially in a best-of-5. You know, winning that first map can do great things for sort of, you know, overall mental health there in the game and in the series. And so it's crucially important to each of them that they try to take this initial map.
Absolutely. Wenger now positioning himself on top of the pillar. Heavy's about to spawn. That's a good rocket from Maxter. Still applying pressure. Stacks are actually relatively balanced right now. And Heavy's gonna spawn. That's gonna be the next major point that both of these players are gonna be looking at. It's LG and LG. We're seeing it through, and Maxter's is strong.
I mean, toe-to-toe in some of these battles that just like 1 or 2 cells of LG are deciding it.
Yeah.
Really impressive, but Maxter regains the lead, putting Wenger to back foot once again. Wenger landing a nice rail there. Maxter taking a second to think about, okay, what's my next move here? Big rocket does come out, follows up with the second one. It's very low though, and Wenger manages to tie it back up yet again. 6-6, lands a beautiful rail. Wenger now with an opportunity to convert on that one. Rocket's coming out. He's got his opponent back in the corner. Mid-air for the frag, 6-7 with less than 4 minutes left to go.
Wenger kind of taking a play out of Maxter's book right there. Just inject all aggression right in his face, rocket into Shoddy. And here we go now, Maxter again.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
He's screeching, he is low, he's got to get out of there. Heavy is up, should be able to secure it, but does he get out? There we go,
there it
good
is.
rocket through the floorboards. And Wenger is managing to spawn so well.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think he was expected to take that much damage at all, Wheat. I thought, yeah, okay, he's gonna take some. The inject, allowing him to dodge out of the way. Yes, he's got a lead, but there's still 3 minutes left.
Yeah, now the speed over to Wenger's side a little bit here, as he is now taking this tied game and is now up by 3, but with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, still a lot of time for anything that could happen. Some Maxter clawback from that initial loss, and that's a big frag there for Wenger at the middle level. Might be able to convert on this one. This would put him in a pretty comfortable spot here, given that we are about to hit the 2-minute warning.
Wenger's been looking so much more confident these past couple of minutes. He's really just been running the spawns, right? It feels like every single time he gets a frag, he makes another one happen right after, because he is there to apply pressure off spawn. And Maxter, he knows that time is running out. He needs some big damage. He needs it now.
Oh, wow.
But Wenger is not just going to let that happen. Will actually be the first one out of the room, using that inject, getting small armor, health bubbles around the map, and now Maxter, he needs to take a fight, but he doesn't have the resources to do so.
Yeah, and I mean, really solid play there by Wenger. No, he knew both of them taking considerable damage. He shot a rocket over here to the murder hole, and then managed to pick up that health. Now, Maxter does bring it back, and this puts in a really interesting spot. If he could convert right here on that 7th frag, I think he's in a spot to be able to potentially tie this up. You can see the speed there will be advantageous to him in that regard. Lands a very nice rail, going to go after it. The inject does not come out quite yet as he's holding on to it.
Good job. job.
Juking over to the side, landing that rail, 8 to 11, 1 minute to get 3 frags to tie this up.
On Deep Embrace, totally easy. Well, totally possible. Not easy, but possible.
Things up with. Is he gonna sit around for heavy? No, he's gonna play really the aggressive game. Oh, there we go. Maxter gets up close.
Unfortunately, Maxter can't play.
Forced onto the hyper defensive. Maxter's gonna hear him, that hoverboard. That makes a whole lot of noise. Maxter drops down. Oh, that's a bad rocket to take. And just like that, the engagement nullified. Maxter cannot push ahead. Mega is up.
He's gotta
loop around, secure himself a little bit of
okay, that's it. That's your last Mega, Maxter.
Now it's all about the hunt.
Well, maybe not the last,
but he finds Wenger twice.
Yeah, and of course, not having the armor there means that it's
so predictable, Maxter. He's so predictable. You got to take unpredictable paths.
He's got to basically make the right call based off of where Wenger's going and how he's rotating through. A missed jump there.
No, why do you have the rail out? You know he's gonna get close to you. That's it. It's game.
Gets a little bit of shotgun damage, but now it's the 10 seconds.
Maybe if he had like Super Shoddy or Rocket out, but he had the rail, which was not the move. Not the move.
And, you know, I don't think you can say convincingly, yes, Wenger looked great. Yes, Wenger 100%, you know, took that one. But you know, Maxter looked really nice in that matchup. And if you were to ask me, well, based off of that, do you think Maxter has a chance to take some games away? 100%.
Yeah. I mean, just to pick up on that, right? It's like Wenger, yes, he got himself the win, but looking at the item control, Maxter, significantly more major items. Looking at the damage output, Maxter, quite a bit of additional damage as well. So on both item control and damage, Maxter did better on paper, at least when it comes to the statistics. So indeed, as you were saying, Wheat, indeed, Wenger did secure himself the win, but this was far from flawless. This was far from convincing for this stage in the tournament.
But you know, like when we are at this point, you do kind of expect that. When two great players, full of skills, kind of going at it, you do expect that there's going to be some ups and downs. A mistake can also, you know, put some frags up on your opponent's scoreboard, but you know, I just like to see the back and forth battle. Like, to me, that is a good indication that you've just got two incredible skill sets that are just kind of duking it out. And we already said Deep Embrace is a unique map. It's pretty small. We had two incredibly fast champions, and so that was what we expected. And just like you mentioned, looking at that item control and pickup, pretty incredible. That 42% LG and 53% rail from Wenger was probably a big part of that victory for him. But yeah, the damage, really, really interesting how that kind of...
I mean, yeah, if you look at the accuracy, it was all about Wenger, but overall damage, we don't have the total tally, but it was Maxter by, I think, 200 or 300 points of damage. And then if you look at the items, right, 24 for Maxter versus just 11 for Wenger, that just shows that his control absolutely was not in favor of the Italian.
Considering that in the first semifinal, Wenger, who was 3-0'd by his teammate Razy, right? Like, I would imagine that in any series, winning that first map is helpful for your own momentum, your own mindset, etc. Having come off of the 3-0 versus Razy, I think that was a critically important win for Wenger. If Maxter would have taken it, do I still think Wenger has the potential to take series? I do, but that should be a confidence booster to be like, okay, I play my game, I hit my shots, and we're going to be able to, you know, to do this. On the flip side, like, Maxter's never really been one to be flustered, and I think we saw that in his interview. We've seen it in his regular play as well. So I'm just excited for a reboot into Map 2, but I would say probably pretty important that Wenger was able to pick up that first map win, just to say, okay, I'm not 0-4 today on the finals day of QUAKECON, because that kind of feels bad, man.
No, absolutely. This is definitely going to help him out moving forward, right? Yes, it's one map on the board. You always want that, but still, the psychological component cannot be underestimated here. And after suffering, you know, what to many will be a pretty devastating loss against Razy, it's really, really important for him to secure the first one here. Now, you know, Maxter, continue.
Well, I was going to say one other thing, is that I feel like Maxter won a majority of those LG battles in map number 1, right? And the 2 times that they kind of went toe-and-toe, that's going to be really important here on Keep, and I just, you know, wonder if that's going to factor in at all. We'll have to see.
And indeed, here we go, Corrupted Keep. We saw a lot of railgun action on the first map. That will not be the case on this one. Corrupted Keep, only map in the pool without a railgun. Good use of the super shoddy by Wenger, though, to take care of that peeker. Maxter immediately pushing it out at the very opening of the game. And we're starting it off so far, a little bit cagey. Oh, not anymore. Here we go. Wenger pushes in. Out comes the shoddy, but he is out positioned by Maxter. He definitely didn't want to have position down below at the stairs. Maybe if he was able to pick up LG, that would have worked nicely, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And so he was fighting up against an opponent that was holding the high ground. And when all you've got is rockets or shoddy then yeah.
No, not a whole
work.
lot of resolution there on that one. And that was unfortunate, but Maxter capitalized nicely on that one. Wenger's really not going to let up, though. Almost keeping that pressure on, not going to allow Maxter to necessarily take control off of that first frag, and I think that's needed. You mentioned nice use of the super shotgun to take out that peeker, but just want to remind everyone, like, if you're strong stage, you just use your orb. Delete
Absolutely.
the peeker.
Yeah, no, it works. It works. Yeah, I think you can do it.
All right, one frag, 1 minute in.
Yeah. Relatively slow start. We saw a burst of aggression, one that Wenger most definitely regrets, right? I was not expecting him to fully commit to that one, chasing through the teleporter. Good LG though. There we go. This should be an excellent point. Oh, somehow it all goes wrong.
He just landed literally on the rocket of Maxter, who looked like he shot straight up into the air, but the second frag coming out. And I have to say that both engagements that we've seen Wenger in have come obviously in favor of Maxter. I like the fact that Wenger is trying to keep the pace and pressure going, but we mentioned LG battles, and it was Maxter who runs out trying to finish off with the heavy machine gun. Both players screaming for their lives, but Wenger is the one who is able to bring that back, and he needed that frag.
It's interesting that Maxter was the one to break away first when Wenger was down to 3 points of health. A single tickle of LG would have gotten it done. Now, Wenger setting up in the red room. Oh, that's a fair bit of peeker damage coming out right there. There's a lot of information, mainly for Maxter as well. He knows where his opponent is, and he should be able to kind of freely maneuver himself onto the rockets. But the one thing that Maxter is missing right now, Wheat, is that LG. Such an important weapon. Wenger is going to make sure that if he gets a hold of it, he's going to put up a big fight. But again, these orb pushes, they're just not working out for Wenger. Wheat, I think that's the third one where he went aggressively, used the orb, and he ended up dying. It feels like all of the frags that Maxter have gotten have been fights that Wenger initiated.
Yeah,
it really has been.
It is true. And that bodes well for Maxter. Of course, I don't expect that to be the case for every initiation that Wenger is going to make throughout this tournament or throughout this game. It just happens to be how it is played out. Now, Maxter has Wenger kind of trapped at the top here, but is forced to kind of get out of there, trying to do some tri-bolt damage just to kind of soften the stack from Wenger, and did a good job in doing that. But both our major items still so close together. Which means that we're having a lot of split there. Orb comes out, no real chance for a bad engagement there because the orb just doesn't do much other than just back Maxter off a little bit.
Nope.
Heavy's gonna be spawning soon, so is Mega. A little delay between the items. Tribolt will not connect. Mega. Both players are eyeing it. Maxter knows that he's in a weaker position, can't just push in. It is Wenger who's now dominating the area. Small armor is gonna spawn. That's a good push from Maxter. Wenger, despite having the better position, unable to do anything. His rockets weren't connecting.
They
Maxter's
weren't.
LG was, and in doing so, plus having that extra piece of small armor to his name, allowed the Argentinian player to just walk right in and take away the Mega, and Wenger decided to just leave it to him, fall back on the heavy.
Some of those engagements where Maxter's getting 30, 40, 50 damage with the LG before the fight even begins, you know, it is always a great feeling as a player to get that damage unanswered. And in those cases, like you mentioned, the Rockets really weren't doing the job. So Maxter's just had a great sense of his weapon selection and preparing and what do you have out to be ready for that. Again, some more LG damage goes unanswered, and I feel like that is definitely one of the reasons like Maxter has a really solid lead right now. Good rocket bounce up to the top. Gonna go ahead and throw the peeker out to do a little damage. Quickly dispatched. But look at the aggression and the pressure that Wenger continues to put on. Ooh.
Oh. Nice bit of tribal damage there as well. Heavy is up. It's gonna be a race for the item. Maxter, though, decides that he wants no part in it. He knows that he's ahead.
There it
But only
is.
by one frag now. Wenger closing the gap, and finally we see one of those big ore pushes work out in favor of the Italian.
Bound to happen eventually, and that one just was perfectly found its target. So now a 1 frag lead for Maxter still. And we are seeing a little bit of time between these two that might allow the heavy to be picked up. Nope, Maxter still able to grab it, but Wenger doing a good job in defending that position, forcing his opponent into a fight. I could see a couple more seconds in delay there, and one of these players could take full control here on Deep Embrace. We're hitting the 6-minute mark, 4 minutes
Corrupted
left to go.
Keep.
Still a lot of time. And this could be the chance right here. Gonna orb right up in the face, and he does manage to get the rocket follow-up, and of course the heavy. So big frag here for Wenger, just for control. Now has his opponent stuck at the top of the statue. Runs out of LG damage, does get a nice shotgun blast, but does clean up the frag with that heavy machine gun.
This is looking better and better for Wenger. Maxter now doesn't have an LG to work with. Picked up a heavy machine gun. Here we go. That's a lot of damage being taken. Mega does spawn. Wenger eats a whole lot of rocket damage from down below. Decides he wants no part in it. Will be able to secure heavy. And I think that this is a good decision from Maxter to not go in too aggressively, right? He's only down by 1 frag. There's still over 3 minutes left to be played. Ooh. He can play this calm and collected.
Maxter, I think, was 1 point of HP away from screaming, and I think that would have made Wenger
control over the map, but it is actually Wenger who is first.
Stay for the kill.
In position, LG on LG. Maxter knows he's not going to win that one. He has to retreat. This is a good opportunity for the Maestro player.
Oh, coming out of the corner. Nice rocket there by Maxter, but this could be an opportunity once again for Wenger to take both of the major items. He did give up Mega in the last rotation to his opponent, but with 3 minutes and about 2 minutes 40 remaining, that control there could be a game decider. Depending on what happens here. Wenger, though, despite getting both the major items, has less stack. And he does have the lead, but still needs to be careful because we've seen how quickly that can snowball.
Absolutely. This is Corrupted Keep, after all. A map where 1 frag very often turns into another. Sometimes even 2 or 3. And now Maxter is on the hunt. Look at the stack he's got to work with both of the major items. Big peeker as well. This should be a frag, and he does. He ties it up.
Yep,
And he's
real
on the
big hit.
He's on the hunt. He wants to chain it into another one. Oh, Wenger perhaps slightly overextending, making a play for the Rockets. Does manage to survive, but Maxter is just happy to leave him alive, knowing that he's crippled, knowing that he's the one who can fall back onto the Mega, onto the Heavy.
And that is going to allow Maxter to take full control here while he's tied up in 1:40 remaining. That's actually a good spot to be in if you are going to be going to a sudden death overtime, and Maxter doesn't want to let it do it. Orb does come out. He turns off to the side and finishes up with the rocket, and Maxter gets the frag 5-4, and a great setup for himself to potentially win this second game here. Wenger is certainly not out, but that was a nice display there by Maxter to potentially avoid that sudden death.
Oh, that was huge! Huge!
Gorgeous rockets, and now all the pressure is on Wenger. Oh, no. One single point is all he's got to work with.
Oh, he almost got him.
And this is exactly
That's
what
it.
Maxter wants. Forcing his opponent in an impossible position, and now... Yes, this is Corrupted Keep, but I don't see this one happening anymore,
I don't either. I think, honestly, Peeker needs a little metal there. Wenger does try to get that orb frag, but a direct rocket followed by a 65. Not much that Wenger can do right now, and that is going to mean that Maxter will pick up this second game. And that means we will not have another 3-0 that we had seen in both of the upper brackets. Let's see what happens in the next 20 seconds, but great job by Maxter. I think that the one peeker that we saw above Mega to take that 5th frag was incredibly crucial for Maxter.
And
because, you know, he did the damage, he got the hit, and he knew. He could smell the blood.
Yeah.
Like a shark in the water, went after his opponent.
Around 4,000 damage for Maxter versus just 2,600 for Wenger. The damage output has just been lacking. We saw it consistently when he went up against Razy, right? We saw it. I don't think there's been a single map Wenger has played today where he was the one dealing the more damage. Even when he beat Maxter on map 1 Wheat, he still got outshot, got out-aimed. Of course, a lot of it has to do with the decision-making as well, the positioning, right? Where you are able to position yourself around the map to control the stack that you have. It allows for so many more opportunities to deal damage, but still, this is not a performance that Wenger is going to be happy with, I think.
Yeah, and it was around that 7-minute mark that, you know, Wenger had some really, really solid control. That orb and that exchange in the red room was really interesting. Taking a look here. Yeah, look at that that rocket damage alone from Maxter's. Really impressive.
1,500 versus just 400. That's something.
And I should note that now that we are tied 1-1 in the series, we are 100% going to see Wenger play on that clutch, which I'm pretty interested in seeing how that one is going to play out. That's versus the Visor on Blood of all maps. So next is going to be Awoken, where it's going to be Wenger on the Doom and Maxter on the Death Knight.
Okay.
Oh, wow, I've gone further than I thought.
Doom used to be a staple pick on the map that is Awoken, right? But then we saw some balance changes being made, slight nerf to the height of his double jump. So there's a few jumps that he was able to do, like for example at the LG to the Tri-Bolt ledge, that he can't simply get off anymore. Now, on the other hand...
Whoa. Okay. Please a little bit incorrect there. If I remember correctly, you still can make that jump as Doom. Only it is much harder. That balance change to Doom's double jump, that took place a long time ago. He's still a pretty staple pick for Awoken.
I think that he needs to kind of pick that up if he wants to be able to take this series. And this is a good map to showcase that, but we'll see.
I'm curious to see how Wenger is going to be using the Berserk, his active ability, right? Very few people use it to actually try and deal damage to their opponent, but they mainly use it as a tool to relocate, to get that instant speed boost, and of course to be able to lunge forward by punching the air, as Doomslayer somehow does. Now we've started things off on the point of view of Maxter. He's gotten himself the Mega Sight, LG. Oh, Wenger, hyper-aggressive, dropping down rockets, knowing that his opponent is still lacking most of the weapons. But those flames, they hurt. We can never discount that ability of Death Knight.
You can't. They seem weak, you know, when you pick up a health bubble, but when they start ticking away, a little rough. Great rail coming out, opportunity for that first frag to go to Wenger, but he's very, very low, and he does manage to get that first frag with a heavy machine gun. Less than 1 minute in, he puts himself on the map. It started off a little aggressive, like you said, was stopped, and that's something that I would expect to see out of Maxter's Death Knight, is try to use those flames to stop that aggression. If you have a good enough stack, you might be able to fight through that a little bit, but considering how well Maxter has aimed today in his match here versus Wenger, it's still something that he's got to be a little worried about dealing with.
Yeah. Wenger did an excellent job during that first fight, or that first life of Maxter, to utilize that mobility of his to deny weaponry, right? He was very good at making sure that his opponent did not get rockets or rail at the start. And he knew that he was the one who could take fights at an angle that his opponent couldn't. And that is ultimately what allowed him to clean
That's some
up
pretty
that
good
first
triangle right there.
Off this map. Now keep in mind that is 1-1. Things are tied, but this is a best-of-5 series, so we're going to see at least one more map after this one.
Both players slowing it down a little bit after that first minute of aggression, looking for an opening with a rail shot or perhaps a nice predictive rocket.
Notice
And
how
he does
Wenger
manage
switched his
to
rail.
land a rail there, which will force Max.
He was
back.
using the executioner rail
And you can
before, but
already
now
see-
he's ooh,
big
great.
rocket coming around the corner. LG coming out. The flames do go down. He is going to decide to fight while burning, and he picks up the health in order to stop that. But picking up, more importantly, that second frag. That was a beautifully placed rocket, and the kind of thing that's going to allow you to up that score and that potential lead. Nicely done. I understand why Maxter threw out those flames to try to give him some sort of advantage after being put in a disadvantage.
No, I think Maxter
but
put out
Wenger
those
handled it
flames
well.
to keep Wenger from going for the heavy.
Now Wenger's got to try and restack, right? He's got no armor to his name. Oh, takes a bad rail there as well. Is actually still railable. I love what Maxter is doing, just holding the angle.
Yeah.
Hoping for the double back. Don't think he's going to be able to clean this up unless Wenger decides to jump across. No, he gets himself the small armor. And the mega health as well. That's well played by Wenger. He was in a tricky situation, bad spot for a moment there, but was ultimately able to quickly get himself back to a decent fighting stack. And now Maxter had an opportunity to put himself on the board, but he'll have to wait for a little longer.
Could have a little
Oh,
exciting little meetup here. Big damage coming out
Oh my
by
gosh,
Maxter.
that was hilarious.
Direct rocket, but putting it on flames on it. And that was a great way to get that first frag. And an example of how that burst damage, if used properly, can really turn the tides of a game. Now, you also surprise your opponent. I'm not sure Wenger was totally expecting that, but it's one of those situations, Flea, where you think, okay, probably Wenger will be thinking about that and expecting that to happen again, right? Is that going to be?
He's playing like
another
a
trap
bot,
that he'll be able
like
to,
literally.
Maxter will be able to use in this matchup?
That's what a bot does, is they hit that
Unlikely, but
jump
we'll see how
pad
it
over
plays
and
out.
over
Most
again.
important thing is he stopped Wenger's momentum.
Yes.
That's really big here on Awoken.
I mean, that's just going to be a bit of a reminder for Wenger, I think, right? You do not want to be playing the crawling game through the choke points, through the winding corridors, the small close combat areas, because you are outgunned when you are up against that flame strike. Those are not the places that he wants to take those fights at, and I think that Wenger is now probably going to be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more careful, avoiding putting himself in those kinds of situations. And here we go, LG on LG, rails come out, both players are low, Mega's about to spawn. Can Maxter find the shot in time? No, he cannot.
Oh, wow.
Oh, but Wenger is still weak.
Great
was
flame
big,
strike.
big
Great flame
indeed.
strike.
Flames and also just the rail to negate that mega health. Quite nice coming out by Maxter. So he walks out of there actually, you know, he was not in the greatest spot, but because he hit that rail and has the armor stack, there's not much that Wenger can do to get aggressive here, and that allows Maxter to kind of hold on to that control after that last frag he got. So Mega's back up, picked up by Maxter. Grab a little bit more rail and just set up here for the heavy, giving him potentially full control of the map.
Okay, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. Then we'll kind of start
Wenger does have a
scripting.
significant mobility advantage. That double jump gives him a lot of leeway around the center area of the map. Allows him to more easily maneuver. I feel like Maxter, though, has got the better awareness. He's got the better grasp of the map. Earlier, for example, he chased his opponent while he was down to 63 points of health in a railgun battle, right? Because he was so confident in the fact that Wenger would not be checking his back, that Wenger would not be trying to go for another angle. And indeed, he was entirely right. So when it comes to situational awareness, reading your opponent, I'm definitely favoring Maxter right now. And he needs it too to be able to catch up with the Doomslayer.
These two played some mind games, jumping spot just to try to say, maybe I'm over here, maybe I'm not. Wenger trying to play a play out of Maxter's playbook.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday in Crafted Cube.
But less than 4 minutes to go, only one frag separating these two. Wenger has the lead, but he is still having to play like he is playing from behind. Rocket jump by Maxter for a little bit of aggression. Thinks his opponent might be there, but he's nowhere to be found. Finally catches a quick glimpse of it right there as Mega is going to be up. I like the use of flames there to kind of zone your opponent out. What a rail from Maxter. It follows up with the second one. Is he going to go in? Yes, he goes for the rocket jump, misses that rail. But kind of puts Wenger into a run for your life kind of a situation.
Look at that. He is just aiming at the very bottom of that small armor because he knows that is what Wenger has got his eyes on. Man, that was not one, but 2 pixel rails in quick succession. Wheat. Wenger probably confused as to how he got hit both times.
But this stack.
Yeah, Max's got a great stack, but ultimately he's no closer to finishing off Wenger than he was before.
He's not, you're absolutely right. Oh, big rail. Gonna be upset that one missed. That one though connecting. And another one allowing him to cleanly get this heavy. Ooh, almost lands that one as well. Light was picked up by Wenger, but Maxter just with all of the thoughtfulness behind the shots. Some of them are hitting. Some of those could be potential game-tying frags, but another great rail coming out.
He's out of rails.
Wenger may stop that aggression from Maxter, but just for a moment, as we are about to hit the 2-minute warning.
Indeed, we are 2 minutes left to go. 1 frag to get for Maxter to tie it up. Both players looking closely at the clock. Wenger going for a nice little catch. That was good. LG has got such knockback, and on land, players have been talking about how good it's felt, Wheat. So if you can catch your opponent off guard like that, just stop them dead in their tracks with LG to the face. That can go a long way. Nice. Good rail as well. Maxter down to 13 points of health. But Wenger decides to just reposition and go for heavy instead. Doesn't want to extend his lead. Thinks at least that situation was a little bit too risky to make a push in.
Yeah, and this is kind of the first time that Wenger's had a stack that is outstacked Maxter right here. Ooh, big hit. Flames do come out, and there is the frag. Gonna get the Mega to stop those. And that is a huge frag as we enter into the final minute. It's still not over quite yet, but giving just a little bit of cushion here. As Wenger now, will he go into a more defensive mode? 2 frags can be made up here. Oh, the rocket jump up, and there is a kill, but it is a trade. That's probably the best thing that Wenger could have asked for in the situation. That minute rocket almost hitting, and now Maxter knows he's got to make a move, but he doesn't have a whole lot of options to do so.
He lost so much stack in that previous engagement. That machine gun damage.
All right, I want to try something.
Maxter flying, in a rather predictable curve through the
QUAKECON sale.
Very easy for Wenger to get that damage off, and now.
Although, which one of these games do I not have?
20 seconds to get the frag. He hears his opponent. I like
Still
what he was
live?
doing
Who's
earlier,
live?
slow playing it, right? Kind of crouching around the map, hoping to catch his opponent off guard, but he just doesn't have the time for that. He needs to charge behind his opponent. Chase him down, but that will
they're
GG.
live.
Yeah, GG. That means
They're streaming Quake World Championship.
Wenger, match point.
Yeah, and I mean, not.
I might consider
a
that.
comfortable match point, right?
No.
All of these games
What?
have been incredibly close. I don't think you can say, "Oh, I'm up a game. This is no problem." I mean, clearly,
Game of the Year
Wenger
Edition
has been
Deluxe.
put to the test here on the finals day. First of the loss from teammate.
Pretty sure I already
Razy,
have that.
Maxter fighting for his tournament life, and of course Wenger fighting for his. Saw some really, really great play out of Maxter, and again from a champion that we don't see very often, the Death Knight. And I felt like how Maxter utilized it was quite good, right? Got him that first frag, got him that. I think the second one as well. He used it to zone a couple of times to regain control on the map. So, masterful play here from Maxter. But Wenger,
I'd love to play
with all the right moves.
Ray.
And I think once again,
Really would.
Maxter outdamaged Wenger that game. Not mistaken.
I think he did, yeah.
By a couple hundred points.
Yeah, it was overall relatively close, I agree, but indeed, looking at that, I'm inclined to believe you, Wheat.
Yeah.
Especially, right, the railgun damage,
Yeah.
that's what stands out the most. 1,440 damage with the rail, and also looking at the control, again, significantly in favor of Maxter.
Yeah.
This has got to be, I mean, on the one hand, this is great for Wenger, because he wins the map. On the other hand, it is no doubt frustrating that yes, you're winning, but you're being out-damaged, you're being out-aimed, you're being out-controlled. That is your opponent who's picking up most of the items. that does not just bode well, right?
Yeah, and if you think about that particular setup going into Blood Covenant now, where we have Wenger on the clutch and Maxter on the visor, you know, item control is going to be incredibly crucial for both in this situation, right? I mean, it gives Wenger with the clutch such an unbelievable advantage, having the shield on top of it.
Yes.
And obviously with Maxter, it could allow him to get a little bit more aggressive, maybe burn that shield and then get those frags. So, you know, how this one will play out, the interesting thing is that they're going to be sort of fighting for this control without, you know, the same speed that we would see on some of the champions that we've seen during the meta. So how do you think I mean, I'm trying to think about how the clutch movement is going to potentially benefit or, dare I say, hurt.
I don't think Wenger would be playing clutch if he's not confident in his ability to do well with it. So looking at this one, I'm a little bit worried for Maxter. Visor is not exactly a powerful counter pick to the clutch, right? There's a few champions, like for example Ranger with the Orb, Sorlek with the Spit, Athena, Nyx, that either have damage to retaliate with, or they've got mobility to get out and stay clear from that shield when it gets popped. Maxter has none of that. Playing Visor, all he can do is use the piercing sight and trying to get damage in from a distance. But if Wenger gets close, I'm very, very worried for the Argentinian player.
Yeah, this is already a super interesting start as we are going to see Wenger go massively aggressive with that shield down below in the LG room. You called it exactly. And that is kind of scary, right? The fridge coming at you, shield out. He also picked up the rail right away, immediately just avoided the heavy. He's like, I can actually win a game with the shield. But didn't quite land that initial rail. But Maxter now got to be thinking to himself, well, wait a second. How's this one going to play out?
Yeah, big rocket damage, though. I'm surprised. Oh!
Anyways.
Wenger with the jump shot.
No.
And he immediately catches Maxter again. But now just look at the stack that he has, right? Previously, Maxter tried to push in. Oh, Wenger has no idea that Maxter was there. That would have been such
I forgot to save.
kill if Wenger knew that he was up there, but now it almost ended up being a trade. Oh my goodness, 4-0 up already. This is looking disastrous.
The clutch Blood Covenant meta has been born here.
Are you kidding me? Clutch has always been a pick on Blood Covenant. Well, maybe not recently because of the weird connection issues, but still.
I never like to call games early, but what
Blood Covenant is one of the very few maps that you can play clutch on.
Clutch. Suddenly being down by 4 in the first 90 seconds? That's...
Great shot.
That's a rough go.
Indeed.
I mean, Maxter's going to have to absolutely just be on his best rail game.
One thing I want to say to everybody like on YouTube and Twitter or Twitch.
I both love and hate
Sometimes, and I don't know why, but whenever I launch Skyrim while streaming and while watching something, it might be because Google Chrome hogs up so much memory, but sometimes when I quit Skyrim, it like freezes the whole computer and then I have to like restart everything. So be aware of that at any point today, because I may have to restart the stream.
It's always a risk. Don't have a double jump, don't have a hook, you've got nothing to just quickly get in and out and walk away with that weapon.
And
looks like we're okay.
You know, Maxter's really got to be thinking about what are the situations that I cannot win if Wenger has shield up.
Yeah.
That's
all
much
of them.
anything that's not a long or mid-range battle or shot, in my opinion. 7 minutes left to go. A lot of time. Big rocket coming out. There's the LG, but coming right back.
Oh, he missed the heavy.
Falls down below. He did pick up the heavy. And that is going to be yet another frag here for Wenger. And now it becomes almost a Quake puzzle game. Like, what is the Visor going to do? And how is he going to approach this to try to bring it back?
Maxter getting a bit of a lucky break right there that Wenger missed almost all of those rails. Only the very last one actually ended up connecting. because that allowed him to get a lot of free unreturned damage off with that heavy machine gun, and now we can apply some more pressure here at the heavy. It has been taken. It does end up going towards Wenger, but look at the stack. This absolutely isn't the kind of obscene monster stack that we sometimes see clutch.
Maxter's having trouble hitting his rails.
But holding on to that shield, and rightfully so. Yes, it can be used as an aggressor.
Testing a
but
few
it can
things
also
here.
Be used if Maxter does get that small window of opportunity to hopefully negate that out. So, you know, the vision here, it's right. I don't know how helpful it's actually going to be. And what I think is really important is that in the next couple minutes, that Maxter does find a frag to at least bring it a little bit closer, because he will have limited options as we get further and further along. There will be a point in which, you know, you reach it and it could be statistically impossible to just get the frags you need. But here he goes. Still no shield. Wait until the last second. Maxter does manage to LG him down. He doesn't walk away from that incredibly clean fleet, but the most important thing is he got that frag, and that's exactly right. Suddenly that 3 frag lead looks a little bit more obtainable than what he was up against just moments ago.
LG is looking solid. Wenger unable to get out. And Maxter has indeed slowly but surely been closing the gap, Wheat.
Oh yeah, he's gonna kill me like instantly.
Separating these two down from 4 earlier. Heavy is gonna be up in just a few seconds. Let's take a look at the stats real quick. Once again, Maxter doing more damage. Item pickups have been pretty much equal. Both players landing a lot of rail by now, so that's good for Maxter.
What's really interesting is that Maxter's approach is just to use his fundamentals, right? His LG's been on in all 4 of the games that we've seen. He continues to kind of use that. He is, you know, setting up little traps and trying to anticipate where his opponent is. He's, you know, unfortunately, there's sometimes you just can't deal with clutch aggression. He's just going to catch his opponent right here. He's landing some nice rails, but if he keeps, you know, delivering with his fundamentals, that could just be a strategy that works out for him.
Most definitely could. Now both of the items are up. Wenger feeling a little bit evasive already. He's got 4 minutes left to play. Doesn't want to get to an open brawl just yet. And he realizes too that Maxter has a lot to stabilize right now. He knows that Maxter now has got a much better grasp on the map than he did in those opening minutes, especially those kind of defensive rockets. Stacks are now pretty much equal. Luckily for Wenger, the shield is still up. Otherwise, I do think that Maxter would have tried to get more out of that engagement.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you still got to be careful. We're gonna have vision popped. It's gonna give him opportunity to know exactly where his opponent is. As Wenger just doing a little dance behind the wall there. Rocket jump over. Yep, he's still there. Wenger heard that and was waiting, anticipating it. Dropped a rocket, but just a little bit of damage. So 3 minutes left to go. 2 frags separating these two. What an unorthodox game here on Blood. We saw the early aggression come out from Wenger, using the bulliness of that clutch. But it has limitations.
It does. It absolutely does. Now, on the other hand, it's also a very difficult situation for Maxter, right? Because as you said, Rail is going to be critical, right? But Rail doesn't usually clean up these kinds of frags when your opponent is so much faster, right? Like you Rail, Wenger gets around the corner, right? He's fast. He's got the dash. It's a fast robot. And what do you do as Visor? How do you chase across the map that is Blood Covenant? There's very little that you can do. So Maxter is trying to find this delicate balance between, you know, kind of slow walking around the map, setting up traps, catching his opponent off guard, and still being there to apply pressure with the railgun. But just look how fast Wenger is moving around the map. Oh, he's actually falling back down.
Does get hit with that. Maxter will grab the Mega. I mean, it was pretty wild that Wenger decided to go on the run and Maxter actually disregarding the major items as well, just to keep that chase going, which is absolutely necessary because there's less than 2 minutes left to go and you've got to still make up 2 frags versus Wenger, who's held on to his shield for about the last 2.5 minutes. He hasn't really put in a position where he can use it aggressively. There's a big direct rocket coming out that will force Maxter back just a little bit. Mega is back up, but what does Maxter do? Wenger seems to have this on lockdown at this moment. But Maxter looking for an opportunity to just crash the party and make something happen.
Fumbles the rocket jump though. I was on Maxter's point of view. This is a critical phase with the future of his tournament life will all be decided in this final minute. Good LG, 160 damage coming out of that. There we go. Wenger gets caught against the wall. He's got to go. He's got to push this.
That's it.
Get the frag, Maxter. Calling GG's already.
Wow.
Yeah, he can't do it.
He knew he couldn't wait after that initial opening damage. He had to make a move on it. And running towards the stage, joining us once again is that SX Dan. How was that for you?
I'm told they can't GG early and I have to sprint now. But
that, I think that, you know,
some cardio.
That was a respect GG. Maxter knew he had one chance. He took it. It's like, it's over. That wasn't a like, I'm just mad. You're totally destroying me. No. Like, you know, that was a loud GG. Hello.
Because what else happens, right? If you don't chase, he's going to get the mega, right? There's 50 seconds left. You're going to have to run all the way to the other side of the map, go for small armor, go for heavy. Like, nah, he had to go for it, so.
Congratulations to Wenger.
Yes.
How about a round of applause for Maxter, who had a phenomenal tournament, some great entertaining games, took a map off of Wenger too, that corrupted keep game. Drop it on us. What do you think of this matchup?
It was an incredible series. Yeah, I think, you know, particularly the first few matches, it felt that Maxter had Wenger's number, out-damaging him, had a lot more control as well. And I think as the series went on, Wenger did stabilize. But particularly in that last map, right, I just felt he got out-picked because the snowball off the front, off the start of the map, Clutch has that potential. Wenger was able to do it and execute really well. You see Maxter thinking he has an opening here, but then just getting caught from above. But the problem is that the limitation advisory doesn't really feel that it adds enough. The vision is not sufficient to counter what Clutch is bringing without the mobility to boot, right? You can see, hear, and sense Clutch at all times. So what is really that vision doing? And that was the deciding factor. But pretty much every map went to the absolute wire because they were just tied neck and neck. And I predicted a Wenger outcome for some apparent reason after this morning, but he managed to do it.
He did. And we've got Wenger on the stage with us here. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
That must have felt pretty good.
Yeah, was I mean, I didn't start the day very good, and I think anyway, Racy played super good. Like he was hitting every shot, and I really struggled to find my game. But I was like trying to.
How the hell did he make it through?
Like, and trying to like redeem myself later on. Like the day is long and nothing is lost. You know, there is a long day ahead, and I am confident in my skill. So.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Wenger, I just want to ask you about the picks for the final map. Clutch. Right, it's not the most common pick. I don't think we've really seen him during this tournament. How do you feel like he works that lane right now? Where is his spot within the meta?
I played Clutch a lot against Hircine on the same pick, so he was Visor, I was Clutch, and he actually worked out even online. So I just went for like my instinct and picked him. Like otherwise I would have gone like Galina, but I wanted something that gave me speed. Like if I had to like play a plus back game, I had the capability with the Clutch.
Yeah, of course.
I want to know, I mean, you're obviously a very cerebral player and I think one of the most stable players mentally, but how on a day like this, when you get put into the lower bracket in the way you did you mentally reset? Do you have any kind of processes or exercises just to stabilize so you don't basically go in with that tilt? Because it wasn't a long break.
Well, if I am at this stage now and I have won in my career already, I already know like how can I reset. Even if something didn't go my way at the beginning, doesn't mean that it has to be like that for the whole day. I think I am confident. I practice a lot, and I deserve like other players to win the belt, and that's the goal. And I'll try my best today.
Let's talk a little bit just about the tournament overall, right? You know, coming into this, the #1 seed, is that
he got a #1 victory royale? Yeah, Fortnite about to get down. Get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.
The way I want to, obviously everyone wants to win. So if I can get a better seed, that's fine. But what matters at the end is winning the event. So I don't really think about seed #1, 2, or 3. I don't really care. What is the most important thing is lifting the belt at the end of the day event.
Yeah, well, and to follow up with that, now you've kind of got this longer road. We've talked a little bit about the whole idea is that you go to the lower bracket and you've got to fight your way through. You kind of have a little bit of a disadvantage if you make it to that finals, but is that affecting anything, or is it just whatever is right in front of me, knock that boss down, and then move forward to the final goal?
Fairy tales wouldn't be easy, like, you know, they have a rough road ahead, and I'm confident that I can do it.
Great. Any final questions, gentlemen? All right, is there anything you'd like to say? You've got a lot of fans out here. Take it away.
Yeah, like after my match against Racy, I got a lot of support. People trying to cheer me up because probably they saw I was feeling really down. So I'm really grateful to all my fans supporting me as always. To Maestro, to Logitech, as always, for bringing to support me for everything they do. That's it. Like I just want to keep playing and try to find my shape like I did yesterday.
And what the hell are you doing?
Just shut me out.
I went to the gym with him yesterday. You are actually in good shape.
Maybe he's just a little too big.
Congratulations. Give yourself a little break, and we're going to take a break ourselves. And when we come back, it's another matchup in the lower bracket. Is that right? Yes.
I told you, you're useless. Seriously.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, QuakeCon 2023 and the Quake World Championships continues. Don't go away.
That's a decent series. Ooh. Wait, what the hell? She really loved two-handed weapons on this character. This is going to require some weird finagling. Okay. So I think we're going to have to kind of take this script and change it up a little bit. I think I could figure it out, though. Okay, and it's getting a little hot. Turn the fan on. 89. Zeniku versus Kilson. Okay. Is that conditional? I don't know. Oh, it extends actor. Hold on, let me go to creation kit real quick. Thinking about this.
Finals day of the Quake World Championship continues here, live from QuakeCon 2023. Another elimination match, this one including last year's champion. It's Hircine versus Zeniku. Welcome back to the desk, Lethal and 40 Lions. How you doing? And are you excited for what I think will be a pretty awesome match?
Yeah, it's going to be a banger, this one, and we don't really know what is going to occur here, do we? Because we saw a lot of weaknesses coming out from...
I just don't really get why it's spawning on this side of the door.
Yeah, I mean, both players don't want to be on the lower bracket, do or die. We've
And I think Zen, you know, he's probably mentally reset well enough, I think. You know, we've talked to him previously during the Quake Pro League, during interviews, and how he approaches games, and he's pretty good about clearing out what happened before and focusing on the now.
No, I think it's a great point, right? We've gotten a chance to interview him several times throughout the regular season, and in most cases, he's talked about the little things that he's done to try to improve his game, and clearly, just based off of him being here, not only in the tournament but also making that top 8, and then kind of being the seed that represents all of these folks that we said, hey, there is a lot of potential for all of these folks to be a potential champion. Kilson, on the other hand, really interesting story, right? Like, had a very, very massive matchup versus Rafa, where Rafa took him down 3-0, and that just, I don't care who you are, like, that one is going to sting a little bit, forcing you, after you just went through a winning bracket run a year ago, down to the lower bracket and having to claw your way out.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, Kilson, he's going to be absolutely ruthless going to this series. He probably wasn't too happy with his performance against Rafa. And for Zeneku, he's probably quite relieved to make it this far. Think about how close that matchup was against Chain. That was ridiculous. Went all the way.
What the hell? Well, again, it just kind of like he just kind of activated on his own.
The palette and saying, let's go. So one map at a time, as everyone always says. This should be a very close matchup, in my opinion, as both people. We see the clapback. We saw kind of what happened.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
then
that's right.
clapback.
Yep.
So
I don't know.
in that mode where he's like, no, that wasn't real. What just happened to me? I'm not gonna allow that. So
There's
this one
truth
should be
to that.
fantastic.
There's truth
Fuck
to
up,
that.
Lethal.
I'll tell you what, let's actually hear from Kilson, who yesterday sat down with us to find out what he had to say going into today's finals.
As the defending champion, coming here quite confident. That's just what I'm carrying with me into the matches, and made it work out. Even being at a very tough match with Maxer, no matter how comfortable I feel against him because of his style. But yeah, it's worked out so far, and getting closer. But it's only small steps.
Well, he's behind the wall. What the hell? This is bullshit. This is also not activating.
You gotta be able to beat everyone, so to really be able to call yourself the champion. So whoever it is, you gotta take on, and you gotta win. And to lift the belt again, like last year, was quite.
Oh, it's this motherfucker. Wait, no, it's not. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I know it's not. Okay.
Would just be fantastic. I mean, I still have like memories from 2019 at the kickoff event, being able to lift the belt as first, as the tournament winner, and to repeat would be really, you know, it's like a dream, really. That's the only goal I'm here for, like nothing else. I don't want to finish as second. I'm not, you know, don't want to finish as third. I'm here to make first place and nothing else.
It's very clear that Kilson has a target in sight. It is that belt. You heard him say it right there. And I do think that Kilson is completely capable of resetting focus. If you've ever watched a stream, or you know those emotes that he throws around, and I would guess that that's what we're going to see here. But, you know, Zeneku is a phenomenal player who has seen some great growth, not only just
Oh, I think I know why it's not working. Hold on.
And if there's someone that deserves to be here, it is 100% him. He's going to put his heart.
Oh, wait, no. I did link it. What the hell?
Into this matchup, and that should make for just a really, really exciting game.
And everything we've seen, all the players we are in the top 6 currently is probably what we predicted and what we expected as well. Zen is again an example of that, and it's like I said before, it's just refining his gameplay over time, and he's got to a point now where maybe last year I would have felt like he had a very tiny percentage of a chance to be able to take it, but now this time round I thought it's increased massively how much progress he's made. It's been absolutely ridiculous, but I'm hoping for his sake it's not going to put a halt to that. It depends on his confidence going into this series, but Kilson's mindset now is just, I want to win the entire thing, and that's the championship mentality you need.
Yeah, and being able to bounce back from the lower bracket proves how much you want it, and you've been in this situation before. You know, you're down, but you're not out. Both players have to keep fighting through this one here in this best of 5.
Well, speaking of best of 5, let's take a look at the picks and bans. We've had some interesting matchups and scenarios already, and I would expect that we're gonna. Wow. Okay, we've got. All right. Let's take a look at the maps first. We're going to start off with Deep Embrace, go on to Keep. We have Molten Falls in there for map 3, and then Awoken and Blood. But who wants to take us through the champs?
Oh, I think I might start things off. Athena versus Anakin, that's a nice little start, a nice little flair on the server we'll witness. But you can see for the bans as well, Veil being banned straight away by Kilson. Pretty much does it every single time, so there's not really too much of a surprise there. More meta speaking as well, to cut to Keep with the BJ versus the Ranger pick, not really too much to talk about there. We've seen a lot more of the scale, of course. One of your personal favourites there, we've seen Strong Sage make time and time again, but against the Doom, it's not something we see too often with that slash ban. And we're going to see Zen coming out with the clutch. And again, a rarity in itself against the Sorlag and Eisen versus the Death Knight. Again, 2 champions you'll never ever see, even on the rarest of occasion of Blood Covenant. So if it does go to map number 5, it's anyone's guess who's going to take that.
Yeah, getting real thick on map number 4 and Zen on the clutch. I haven't seen that a lot, so that's got to be some pocket practice happening right there. I would have loved to see more Citrus, but this is fine. I feel fine. It's going to be a fantastic set. And looking at these picks, I mean, look, you pick to win. You pick what you're comfortable with, whatever is available. Completely understand, especially at this stage, do or die lower bracket.
Yeah, some comfort picks in there, but also, right, a couple of areas I do think that clearly Kilson would love to probably take this into. There's like a little bit of just chaos in that Awoken matchup, especially like the Sorlag versus the Clutch. That's pretty wild. The Blood Covenant game is, should we make it to a map 5, it's hard to even imagine exactly how that plays out. And, you know, in our last matchup that we saw with Wenger and Maxter, we were on Blood Covenant with a Clutch versus Visor. Very unorthodox game. This one is even, you know, more interesting because I'm not sure that either champion is like excels on Blood in any way. So it might just come down to just who has the greatest fundamentals and the stamina to win that game. Should we actually go there?
I think with Blood Covenant, just in general, with Eisen, you can either make it work or it will completely fall apart. We've seen it being used on Corrupted Keep as well. And it's, if you get absolutely zero use from Timmy, then, it's basically curtain call for you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. And it's going to be the same situation with Blood Covenant. I don't know how he's going to use the turret. It's going to be used to prep those items on shore on the bridges. Quite often, I try and keep on spawn on some of the areas, but I do feel like the Death Knight is a much more of a viable option going into it. But it's just the clutch pick from Zen, which I'm very excited with. Of course, he's witnessed Razy, and there's normally about 4 players in the QPL who have been continuously using that clutch, or just using that champion, just a wide variety of their champion pool overall. But the fact that Zen's actually whipping out for himself, we don't know what he's like with the clutch in terms of his startup play, and I think that's actually the perfect time to use it. But the Sorlag, though, it's going to be a completely different question in itself.
Yeah, super interesting pick there. We can even make it there. We've seen some crazy games already.
We have.
Sets have been a little insane. Hopefully this one can go the distance so we get as much quick action as possible. But yeah, I mean, the clutch pick versus Sorlag, my eyes went directly to that one, especially because it's just like, it's not often you see Zen on clutch.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is we've got the scale on Molten Falls, and yesterday we saw a pretty interesting matchup. That was a scale versus Anarchy between Strong Sage and Wenger, but it takes a very specific style in order to play and really capitalize on that. I kind of feel like the Doom is an interesting pick. It could stay a little bit out of some of those traps, but it's exciting that that will be a map.
Oh,
no
boy.
matter what? So we are loading into our first game, of course, kicking us off with some.
Looks like our upload is taking a hit right now. Why?
Going to get that full item control early on. It's going to be a bit of a doozy here for that heavy in the next 10 seconds, but still just both these players just finding the footing at the moment. Gets a little bit of triumph damage done, but even then come out with the LG from both these players. But Zen's slightly weaker as Kilson just picked up the health bubble, still chasing him down. Left to 46.
Zen, you got to fire, man.
Comes out from Kilson. First frag in his favor.
Really nice play there. You could see that Zen was lacking rockets, couldn't really fight back, and Kilson the power.
But he had super shoddy. He needed a fire.
Taking the first frag rather quickly, and wow, up close rail, no problem for Kilson right there. 10 seconds till the inject. This is the opportunity for that, but already denying the lower light, making his way back to the heavy, which is going to be up here shortly, but he has plenty of time to reroute and even press Zen and kind of test that defense a little more. That's too much almost, but he's going to go up, and the shotgun from Zen puts a stop to that immediately.
Well, that's one way to stop the momentum, It's quite early on still, though, mind you. Still a few seconds between the items here. Just Zen just
Nice shoddy.
time. Just trying to assess the situation and deciding what the next move is. He hasn't any rockets on in rail to his name as of yet. Finally picks up his rail on the spawn, just backs away. He was trying to get a cheeky shot off, but also so did Kilson, but didn't manage to get it at all. But backing away once again.
So that Athena hook, a little bit of LG action here. Inject is up for Kilson, looking for that rail, and he nails that through the drive-through window here. And Zen needs to be very, very careful. You can see immediately, he's trying to get out of there. Kilson looking for the kill shot. Zen just trying to stay alive right now. Has that tri-bolt out, and the Mega, luckily for him, is up, and he will grab that.
He played it a little safe, but that's okay.
He certainly does, and the heavy's been up for quite a while, and that rail shot from Kilson is going to be pinnacle towards that second frag.
I'm trying to think about this.
Slightly recover, but look at the stack from Kilson. No, as Kilson's after blood once again, trying to get away and wasn't able to fully, but some good tri-bolt damage coming out there from Zen as Kilson now just rotating back around. Heavy's not up for another 10 seconds. It's a little bit more done onto Kilson with a Mega still up.
Oh, he fucked up the jump. Ooh, but that's a great rocket.
Rocket from down below, and the rail sadly missed.
No, Zen.
And again, he's just been hitting so many rails. We're starting to kind of see Railson emerge on this one. There's the inject with the rocket jump. Zen with 60 HP gets a little bit of a tickle, but can't really contest. He's going to go back to the... Says, no, that's not free. And again, rails him before the pickup again. Kilson railing out of his mind right now, up 3-1, 3 minutes in. Missing with that one, unfortunately. He's going to miss with another one, and Zen's going to try and stand his ground. A little bit of tri-bolt, not going to connect. But as the squishies again, a rail is just so critical against these light champions.
Certainly is. Zen
Okay.
one rail shot the entire time, and Kilson's fired 16 already, just denying that rail on so many different occasions. As we're just past that 3-minute mark. Mega was up, gets another good rail once again, just doing so much chip damage and just making matters worse here. Zen gets another, he's so weak. He's going to try and go for the kill before he picks up the Mega, manages to get it, and the Mega on top of things, and now heading towards that heavy. But he will be able to pick it up, but he hasn't got any weapons in his arsenal.
Yeah, this is... Kilson is just punishing with that rail, and that opens up the whole game. That's what he wants. If I hit a couple rails, the world is his oyster here, especially as a light champion of Athena. So inject in the pocket here for Kilson as he's on the hunt yet again. No major item up for 8 seconds. He's just trying to find that angle, almost clipping Zen as he backpedals and just wants to get away and stabilize here, Lethal.
He's trying anyway. He really is trying, but so far Kilson's just put way
Unless...
and he's shown a lot of creativity with his movement as well to try and corner off Zen. But now Zen's reading him a little bit better now over the last minute, but the Mega's going to be picked up by Kilson once again. As Heavy will be up in the next 15 seconds as Zen is just trying to get in position for it, but he's just a little bit unsure as he misses that initial rail once again. And so far, just taking a look, he hasn't actually hit one rail shot yet, so this is going to be a little bit brutal if he doesn't start hitting them now, but gets a little bit of damage done, gets the inject, gets the Heavy, and look at the stat difference as well for it. This is not looking too good as Kilson now just still on the hunt and a little bit on the chase, as at least Zen's got, or did have, a bit of a positional advantage, but had to back away again.
Yeah, and Kilson opts to just not take any damage. Go ahead, grab the Mega. I have a 3-frag lead. I want position on this Heavy. And he's sitting pretty. Again, as an Anarchy with the inject, you essentially have a pocket Mega, so he's not too fussed about it. A little bit of Tri-Bolt there. There comes the hook. Premeditated and seen from Kilson, but he does take some damage. He's going to miss out on it. Zen just wants this frag with the shotgun, the Athena hook, the rocket defensively, but Zen finally gets the buckshot he needs to put up a second frag.
That was really well played from Zen. I love the idea. Back of that, even with the
Kinda.
able to steal the Heavy. If he was not able to,
No, what?
no way in hell he would have actually been able to get that second frag. But so far, Zen just going back up. He knows that Heavy's going to be up in the next few seconds. His Kilson's backed well away, and to be fair, who wouldn't at this point in time? They've still got 4 minutes left, so plenty of time for Zen now to try and bring this back. He's trying to get another rail shot in, still has the stack and looking to try and get an angle, but of course Kilson not making it easy for him here.
Ooh, that swing, just dodging that rocket here. A lot of LG coming out. 1 HP. Finally pops the inject back to 51, but he's still railable even after the bubble. He needs to be very careful. Oh, and there
Lovely.
it is. Zen converts with the rail. And again, as you said, struggling early on with the rail, but now he hits that one, and this should be another conversion. Tied at 4. Zen is clapping back. Misses with the rail off the spawn. Wants to pick up that rail and make Kilson work for grabbing another one. LG on LG. Kilson trying to play defensive here. Can he stay alive? The buckshot won't get the frag that he wants. A little bit of a tickle with the rocket, but the Mega should be in Zen's pocket here with a perfect rotation potential for Heavy.
Zen is looking so much better compared to yesterday, and my god, the tracking from that LG from Zen. He was down by 3 frags at one stage and now up by 1, trying to make it 2. You greedy boy, trying to get that sick frag to his name, but it looks like Kilson does get away for now. Stacks almost equal as the Mega will be up next 5 seconds, and this will be a big fight to that. Oh my goodness, the Tri-Bolt damage as well. There's no way Kilson can face this or even attempt to contest.
Yeah, and I mean, not to point it out and be the bearer of bad news, 15% rail for Zen, not a problem. He's using all the other weaponry he needs, positioning well, does have the 1 frag lead, trying to get some rocket damage from down below before the Heavy, but he's going to have to concede that, or at least just opt to do some exit damage here. But he's making it work, Lethal, and that's all that matters. But if he chains together more of those rails, he gets more options here, and Kilson just going in right now for the kill, and you can see Zen almost thought about trying to chase, doesn't have any rockets, needs to be careful.
Oh my god.
The upper armor finally gets some more rockets to work with.
I was gripping so hard then for Zen when he was going through that TP, but luckily for him, Kilson did miss his shot and could have equalized the scoreline. But Heavy's up, it's been up for a few seconds as Kilson just, again, just trying to analyze the situation, but caught with the LG, but that was a good rocket coming out from Kilson, and he's going to be able to find him and uses the inject.
That's huge.
Manages to make it 6.
Those rockets were pixel perfect as they needed to be in a great rail. That's going to send Kilson packing. He's already used the inject. This might be another frag. The rockets won't land in the
That's huge.
will land in 7-4 in favor of Zeneku. Less than 2 minutes Lethal. Another rail, and this might be another frag. There's the hook. The shot. He comes.
Woo! Sends on a tear.
My goodness me. What a change from what we saw yesterday. LG coming out again, some good rocket shots as well. Kilson super weak, and of course, trying to get away with the tail between his legs, but who comes out with the LG, almost cleans him up. It's going to see if he could try and deliver the fatal blow, but he does manage to get away once more as he's going to prioritize the item to see if Kilson's actually lurking about, which he isn't currently, but Zen's looking pretty damn good. A minute left, a huge stack. It looks like it's going to be Zen's map to win.
Yeah, just incredible adjustment here from Zen, being down early but making it work. And again, another frag for Zeneku, 9-4. And another rail off the spawn again, struggling at the beginning of the game, but now hitting him off the spawn, making sure Kilson can't do any shenanigans off his spawn, and there's just not enough time right now, Lethal. I don't think this is it. 40 seconds, 5 frags. Zen should be able to take this one, just play defensive. And what a first map.
I know, this is ridiculous. This is something we just did not anticipate at all, considering what we spoke about earlier. And Zen at the start, the first 5 minutes, he wasn't hitting anything, and now he's hitting everything and more. He's just going back up as we only got 20 seconds left remaining. As Kilson just trying to keep this as competitive as possible. Cleans him up once more, making it 10.
There it is. It's not about how you start, Lethal. It's about how you finish.
That is true.
10-4. Maybe another frag. Who knows? Who knows how saucy he's feeling? And yeah, he wants one more. Why not?
Yeah, treat yourself. Go on.
It's a buffet, isn't it?
It is.
10 minutes has been hit. 11-4 is the official map score for map number 1. Zenecu takes it over Kilson with quite the performance. And again, we kind of alluded to bouncing back. You said the chain game yesterday kind of sent Zen in a spiral, but he bleeds, but he doesn't quit. As he came back here against Kilson, Kilson might still be reeling from the set for Rafa. We don't know. I mean, the rails were on point, but then once Zen chained together those rails, it changed everything.
It certainly did. Where was this Zen yesterday? Maybe he had a day off yesterday? I have absolutely...
Power save mode, you know? He's like, look,
Yeah.
I can get through barely and save most of my... I don't know. But
You could be right.
what matters is that he's here now.
Yeah.
And he performed that well, and especially with that kind of start to come back from that, that
Oh,
should
whoops.
build that confidence going into map number 2. And now you got to start kind of questioning, like, all right, Kilson, how can you get back into this? Be it mentally, reset, however you got to do, whatever you got to do to get back into this, because, you know, that performance was good, but the fact that Zen was able to claw this one back, we don't see that a lot from Kilson. Once he has the lead, he's kind of just foot on the gas, and some of these plays, as you see the rockets from Zenecu and the rail, again, just fantastic.
In terms of aim skill, I'm actually quite surprised because his rail wasn't hitting anything, but his LG was really strong, like a lot more stronger than I anticipated. And as soon as he got into the flow of things, the momentum was building, then his rail kind of complemented it at a later time. And that's when we saw him just escalate that scoreline to a ridiculous amount. But honestly, well played from Zen. You can see there, 23 items for Zen and only 11 from Kilson. And considering Kilson's known for his timings and known for how well he is to prep for those items, absolutely ridiculous. 43% for Kilson for the rail, 37.5%. But to be fair, for Zen, that was good, considering he was hitting nothing for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, again, the turnaround, the adaptation was fantastic, warming up, whatever you want to call it, Zen did it, and he got it done. Kilson, both players playing lights, but once you fall behind, it's just so incredibly hard to get back, especially on a fast map like Deep Embrace against an Athena that has so much speed. And then, like I said, Zen near the mid to end game started hitting those spawn rails. Kilson even off the spawn using the inject previously before dying. It's just like you don't have options. You don't have options. Time's ticking, and Zen was able to run up the score on him, and that was just a fantastic performance.
It certainly was. Now we're going to map number 2 shortly. We'll be on Corrupt to keep. It will be the BJ versus the Ranger. Almost Meteorez, of course, the Stog not being in there, but this is going to be an interesting matchup in itself. How Zen is going to try and use that dual wall just to maybe scare his opponent off some of the items, or maybe to use it to his advantage in terms of the damage. It's going to be a lot to take in, but Zen is very...
What the hell?
his advantages anyway, but with Zen his own style of how he actually plays Corrupt.
I don't get why he's not doing it.
He's quite hard to break defensively on Corrupt to keep. But Kilson, we've seen some style points, some flair on the server.
Where did he? Where is he?
Well, it's going to be another question, isn't it? Pretty much.
Very, very bursty champions on either side. Obviously, Ranger with the Dire Orb has the capability to escape, be a little more versatile, but BJ tracks you in a corner with those rockets, or LG, you are dead to rights right there. And as we saw previously on map number 1, Zen's LG is on point.
It definitely is. Honestly, I would want to...
I am struggling with this.
I will. So don't you worry about that.
But we are going to get into map number 2 here shortly. Zen with the map lead. Again, lower bracket action. And yeah, we're going to get into it here. Do or die, slowly getting to that point here.
As we're
Like
gonna
he's
go into it now,
disabled.
Got underway with Zen versus Kilson now, and we're going to see who's going to come up trumps it, if Zen's going to make it 2-0 in the series, or if Kilson will try and equalize that scoreline in terms of the series score. Kicking things off from Zeniku's perspective to see exactly what mischief he's going to be up to.
Yeah, I didn't hit the button in time to transition. My bad.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, chat's blowing up right now. We missed the first 15 seconds. Nothing happened, all right? Here's the action. Calm down. 37 seconds in. There's the rocket jump from Kilson using that passive to try and get position to damage on this LG as Zen is stuck behind the statue, but Kilson says, you know what, this isn't really in my favor. That's fine. I'm going to rotate back and grab this heavy instead. More importantly, still has...
I just don't get why the wolf is doing it, but the bear isn't.
And Zen might be able to play some defense as he does have the dual wield as well.
He certainly will. No try-bot for Zen, but trying to make it work. He's backing away once again. He's up in 3 as you can see. Kilson holding the high ground, but the duel's looking pretty good here for Zen, but Kilson comes out trumps there in that little scuffle. Back in at that first frag.
More LG here. Zen able to steal the heavy, and Kilson says that's fine, I'll allow it.
We'll let
Luckily
him
for him, yeah, more LG as well. And one rocket in the pocket here. Zen trying to fight his way out from this corner. He's going to run into some tribal. Never mind, it doesn't even matter. Kilson now on the back foot with the LG of Zenaku. That was fantastic here. No dual wield. Dire is up. Kilson needs to try and get out of there. And that situation looked dire for a second, Lethal.
Yeah, just a tad. As Kilson does have the high ground, but doesn't have to stack. So airstrike coming down, but the dual wield is just a bit too much there for Kilson. And now Zen already tying things up and still after just a little bit more.
He's going to drop early. That might be...
Oh, that's huge.
A bit of a mistake there, Lethal. Maybe missed timing is 2 seconds to the Mega. Kilson's going to dive back in, at least steal the upper light armor here. Zen grabs that Mega. 5 seconds till the heavy, and Kilson with the cutoff with the rockets, trying to set up some defense here and make sure that that heavy is his.
2.5 minutes in, Kilson's just picked up the heavy. Mega's up in the next 15 seconds. Both items heavily segregated, so of course Kilson's looking to aim for that full map control. As the dual wield is ready and waiting, but so is the orb from Kilson, as now Zen just trying to, again, just gather enough information, keep his distance, go for the chip when required, but also has good reads on Kilson as well. Just trying to keep his distance for the time being. Good amount of LG coming out from Kilson, but we have some good tri-bolt damage coming out from Zen as well.
Ooh, big rocket there. Still dual wield available as well. And I like that little jump, but actually lingers around too long. Takes some rocket damage from Kilson. So he really wants this Mega, and now it's just a matter of, is he going to drop? Did he see it? Now he did. Kilson pushing in, and Zen wants nothing to do with this. He's going to concede the Mega. Almost gets a little bit of exit damage here. There's the rocket jump up, and the Dire are closing the gap. But the rocket's going to be good from Kilson. 50 HP. Zen hanging in there and just backing away. Can he at least steal the heavy? A huge defensive rocket. Now, who wants to die for this heavy? And it looks like Kilson's going to dive in and not make it. Can't even steal the heavy. Zen, what a play.
He didn't even burn the heavy. That was a huge mistake there. And it means now Zen can continue piling on the pressure and just continue engaging with that aggression. That was sadly a big mistake there, but it does collect up over time here. Double rockets coming out there with the head strikes coming down from Zen. Getting a good rocket off a direct there. Orbit up.
Ah, no! Kilson's losing it.
4-1 now for Zen.
Kilson is starting to force the issue a little too much. He needs to Chilson right now as Zen
He
has
needs to Chilson.
halfway through this.
Fucking
He's trying to
40.
for anything and bully his way onto these items. He's
Oh,
gonna
that's huge.
rocket in the
Oh my.
He got greedy. He shouldn't have gone for that.
And Kilson just keeps dying before these items, trying to force the issue, and Zen will take these frags all day, Lethal.
All day, every day for Zen. Maybe not yesterday, but definitely today. Like, my goodness, it's such a change.
Yeah, I would have been so surprised if Zenitsu got knocked out by Chain.
Of the Quake World Championships. What difference is going to make, and the damage from that heavy machine gun as well. He's giving Kilson very little room to breathe across the map. And I did say as well before the match even began, as that Zen has a very strong defensive mechanism here on Corrupted Keep. It's very hard to break. Again, Kilson tried to make a better the situation, but Zen coming on top once again.
Yeah, it almost feels like Kilson's treating, you know, the BJ character like...
How are you?
And he wants to use the shotgun, but Zen has too much stack. Zen is so on point right now. 6-1, we've officially hit the halfway mark. So much heavy. Oh, wow, that rocket combo. Zen actually put on the brakes. He was just trying to tear through him with the machine gun.
No, that's not working.
For Kilson to finally turn this around as he gets a clean Mega after that frag, and he's going to have the Dire Orb up shortly.
He
Okay.
advantage for light before he makes any kind of engagement, but he does find him around the LG. Gonna get a sprinkle of damage here and there whilst he's around that LG spot, but Heavy has been delayed by a fair few seconds, so that will throw Zen off a little bit in terms of the timing. We'll have an educated guess later on, but good LG coming out there from Kilson, but Zen does drop down. He's trying to get a little bit more if he can, but he's a little bit stuck here, but it seems like Zen is going straight on in with the LG. Lovely jump, movement and play coming out from Zen.
And that Dire Orb didn't even phase Zen because like, what are you going to do? Go off the map?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fine. I'm just going to LG you. You don't really have anything to do with that. The rocket to LG combo should be good here, and yes, it is. Kilson can't even find any damage from those rockets, and I am just flabbergasted at what we're seeing right now. Kilson just, he has no answers for this, and he's kind of forcing the issue, and that's just giving Zen free frags right now.
And time isn't exactly of the essence either, considering how clean these frags have been from Zen. Yeah, it's going to be looking pretty tough for Kilson so far. And look at the stack once again. Just Zen just picking him apart here and there, and it's just unbelievable how well and how proactive he's been around the map. And considering the circumstances now, 3 minutes 15 left on the clock. Zen is continuing to roll back the items. Speaking of the items, though, 14 items for Zen and 12 for Kilson. So it's not like he's been out of pocket in terms of the items there, as he does manage to get away.
Yeah, and Zen is completely cool with that. He's like, I'll do a little bit of damage on this. I don't really care so much about the majors anymore. It's a 6 frag lead. You're going to have to start, you know, pushing through these choke points that I'm going to play around. And Zen's defense has been sublime so far. And I can't imagine it's going to falter the last 3 minutes. Kilson has to kind of overcome the odds here. A lot of LG through the doorway, and Zen's just going to back off onto the heavy easily.
It hasn't been consistent. Like the last couple of minutes, is Kilson just dropped down for that mega.
Can I try that again?
At this stage in time,
I want to see exactly how that happened.
That could be a potential one here as they both go back and forth with those rockets, but Zen, do you know what? That's a good trade for him, even though no deaths occurred, no kills occurred. Any time wasted is going to be in his favor every step of the way.
Time and ability, lethal, as the Dire Orb was used for that. Vials on the other side of the map already taken. Zen does have dual wield, so those vials in the banana will be up, but Kilson doesn't.
I know why. I'm pretty sure I know why.
Down 6, he's got to put pedal to the metal, make something happen here.
Certainly does indeed, and look at the LG damage as well. 1,530 damage for Zen, only 737 for Kilson.
I'm actually pretty sure I know why now.
1,000 more damage than Kilson here. That just shows how proactive Zen has been for the entirety of this second map. But Kilson has to stack, but it's just way too little too late. Coming up with the duel.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
And still, man, and evens the stack line once again. That's what Zen is aiming for. If he gets a frag, great. That's going to be a bonus for him at this point.
And he backs up onto the Mega. He's actually spawning. Kilson just had to push that frag. And Zen with a little bit of loop grabs the Mega yet again, and that just...
Is that why the wolf is there?
Already down, a minute 15 remaining, and I think Zen has taken
Hold on.
number 2.
Yeah.
Well, this is crazy. I don't even know what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, he might have taken this map.
Yeah, I think
pretty
there might be
sure.
time, but I don't know.
No.
I can't tell, lethal.
No, I can't tell either. Yeah, maths is not my strong point.
I've never been able to read.
Off
So.
broadcast, it's great.
Oh, I thought we were just admitting things. Sorry.
Oh, well, we can admit as much as you want. Okay, it's 55 seconds left there with that duel coming up. But yeah, it's all said and done. But my goodness, the fact that it's already 2-0 for Zen in this series already is just crazy. It wouldn't surprise me if Kilson found a way to try and bring this back and took things one map at a time. But my goodness me, what a way to start day 3 off for Zen here as he does take him down once more with that 9.
This is actually crazy to see.
Kilson calls the GG. He wants a little bit of a breather. 30 seconds left. It doesn't matter. There was no way to really get back into that 7 frag deficit, but Zen, big shouts to him. 1 map away from advancing, and I didn't think it was going to be like this. There's still 10 minutes remaining, but lethal, there's a world where we're not even going to see the thick play that we thought we would with the clutch and Sorlag. And that's crazy because I really genuinely thought that this was going to be a back and forth affair, and Zen had other plans.
Yeah,
so
I'd be a sad boy if that's the case. But GG's from both players, so it does mean that Zen now up 2-0.
that smile.
Oh, whoops.
He's close.
I do like the cheeky grin on his face.
Yeah, well, I mean, after that performance, you have nothing but to be really ashamed of. That was fantastic. First 2 maps. I don't know. It's the Zen's show now. Usually, I'm used to saying it's the Kilson show, but he's got to show us that he can.
Okay, well, he's still there for some reason.
This is where the championship mentality doesn't matter. You're down 2, you're in low.
Well, okay, at least we figured that out.
Just looks ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. I like a bit of chaos and mayhem, exactly. I don't want to like just sit down on just the third map. I want just a little bit more. I don't ask for much, do I? Don't ask for much.
Well, not on stream anyway.
No,
But yeah, the Dire Roar play, I mean, it didn't really net him a lot. Like, a lot of the Dire Roar plays that Keelson did were to force the issue, and Zen just had too much of a stack. Again, you're not going against the light. You can't just orb to shotgun combo and anarchy on this one. So I think he kind of forced the hand a little bit too much. But to Zen's credit, great defense, too. Didn't really give up an easy frag, even though Keelson got in his face and tested that defense. Here we see these defensive rockets. Keelson kind of unsure, should I try and take the armor, and jumps in, and then we saw countless times that Keelson was just dying right before the item spawned, and yeah, Zen just played really well. Things like this, just forcing the issue.
All right, I gotta pee again because of the freaking water I've been drinking. I'll be right back.
Way, it was actually just in a forced scenario, but he was trying to hope just to try and claw back a little bit earlier and trying to maybe fumble a tad here and there. We've seen it a couple of times, but you can even see there with the item control, it's literally identical. It's just Zen's been a lot better proactively and doing a lot better with his stack, and the defensive mechanism I said on Corrupted Keep, he's just playing it so well in a passive manner, and it's just really hard to break. But Keelson was trying to break through that barrier. He just couldn't. He did it time and time again. Really struggled. But even look at the aim score percentages as well. Like nearly 2,000 damage with the LG, like nearly 35%. Unreal stuff here from Zen.
Yeah, just crazy. Just crazy. And, you know, you keep thinking back about a year ago, a couple months ago, you're like, yeah, this would never happen.
Yeah,
We would never be in this situation. Now it's just Zen's putting everyone on notice.
Just playing pretend at the moment.
Yeah, Zen's just putting everyone on notice, saying, I belong here. I know I don't want to be in the lower bracket, but I'm going to fight my way out. And he's doing a great job. It's absolutely insane to see. 1 map away, 10 minutes away from advancing.
Who would have thought it, though? Honestly, who would have
Probably not
thought it?
most of chat. I feel like they're just like, what is happening? Check him PC, something's up. I don't know.
I was going to say, if anyone's saying in chat that it would have been a 3-0 for Zen, stop lying. Stop kidding yourself. Unbelievable. But do you know what? It could happen. And going into this third map, no clue how this is going to go. But with the fourth and fifth map, it's probably even worse because of the fact that the champion pool, in terms of what they selected on those 2 maps, it's unfamiliar territory for them and for us as well, considering like over the course of the QPL in the last 18 weeks. So it's anyone's guess. But for Zen, I think it's best for him just to close it out now, because with those champion choices, both players are going to be a little bit unfamiliar with how things are going to go, that matchup, and I think it's best to be safe rather than sorry at a later time.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Zen wants to close this out 3-0. He wants to get that extended break. He doesn't want to drag this on. He doesn't want to give Keelson any
we've got things to do,
places to be, things to eat, snacks to have. But, I mean, you're up 2. Like, you cannot give your opponent any kind of in, especially
Zeniku!
If you give him an in, she's going to take a mile. But right now, Keelson...
Power Rangers. Can't believe he likes Power Rangers. Although I guess there's nothing wrong with liking Power Rangers. I'm confused about this wolf, man. What if I moved him, like... What if I moved him over here?
Between Zeniku and Keelson, coming 2-0 in the series. Zeniku will be the scale bearer versus the Doomslayer, and we're going to see how things are going to finalize off. If it does finalize in this third map, depending on Keelson's situation.
It is very important.
From Zen's perspective, absolute chaos from the get-go here, trading the blows. But it looks like Zen does come off a little bit better with that heavy, and now can get the rail as well as those rockets.
You gotta love that aggression from both sides. Bull Rush and Berserk used, wanted to maximize the armor, did Keelson, grabbing the light, falling back to the heavy. The Bull Rush came out from Zen as well. Now Keelson patrolling the upper area, shotgun area. Zen waiting patiently by the LG for this next heavy. Grabbing some vials, wants that Bull Rush. Trying to read exactly where Keelson is, and has a good idea where Keelson's going to peek from, but he can't do anything. I mean, he's a big boy. He's going to eat some rails on this one, Lethal.
He's a beefy lad, so not really too much of a surprise there. So we're just almost surpassing that 1 minute mark. We've seen Strong Sage play scale extremely well in a defensive manner on Molten Falls, but he makes it work so well. So now I'm curious to see how Zen is going to play scale. Is he going to do the same way? He's going to play quite defensively, coming in, Fisticuffs comes out.
Hell.
But he's like, actually, no, see it later, mate.
Why? Why does he...
Exactly, yeah. Forget your Bull Rush, exactly.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why he keeps... This doesn't make any sense. Like, bro is a light year away.
It does indeed.
Watch, I'll fucking move him over here.
Very careful how sneaky Zen's gonna play and the traps he's gonna set as well.
I just don't get it. The bear is fine. Why is the wolf having such a problem?
Really pay the price. And that's what Zen's gonna be looking for at some stage. But decent amount of damage coming out from Kilson.
Oh, Kilson! You